Guys, this is huge. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this video disappears soon. Because what I'm about to show you, it's the kind of thing that makes people in power very nervous. Joe Biden just got hit with what could be the biggest political disaster of his career. And trust me, the White House is scrambling right now. The media, they're trying so hard to sweep this under the rug. Social platforms, already throttling discussions. And if you're wondering, what could possibly be so bad? Just wait, because the truth behind the scandal is bigger than anyone expected. And if this gets out to enough people, this could change everything. So stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why Biden's team is in full panic mode, and why they don't want you to see this. All right, let's get straight into it. We've seen Biden face criticism before, right? From economic struggles to foreign policy missteps, the guy has had plenty of tough moments. But this is different. This isn't just a bad speech or a political blunder. This is a full-blown crisis that even his own allies are struggling to defend. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is this just another overblown headline? No, this isn't some clickbait story. This is real, and it's unraveling fast. Reports are coming in, sources are leaking info, and guess what? The White House is not handling it well. When you see top officials dodging questions and press secretaries looking like they just saw a ghost, that's when you know something big is happening. And the craziest part? The mainstream media isn't even covering half of it. You might catch a tiny mention buried in a late-night segment, but no one's really talking about it. And that's because if people fully understood what's going on, Biden's entire political future could be on the line. That's exactly why we're breaking it all down today. No spin, no bias, just straight facts. So, what exactly is going on? Why is this such a nightmare for Biden? And most importantly, what happens next? All right, let's get to the meat of this. What exactly is happening right now that has Biden's team in full-blown panic mode? Well, buckle up, because this isn't just one problem. It's a perfect storm of disasters, all hitting at once. First, we've got insider reports from top-level officials who are leaking information left and right. These aren't some random conspiracy theorists. These are people on the inside, and what they're saying, it's bad. One of the biggest bombshells? Biden's own administration is showing signs of collapse. High-profile staff members are allegedly resigning behind the scenes, and even some of his closest allies aren't defending him anymore. Now, when your own party starts backing away, that's when you know things are spiraling out of control. But it gets worse. There are rumors. And I have to say rumors because, well, you know how these things work, that certain classified documents are making their way into the wrong hands. And these documents, they allegedly prove that Biden has been involved in something much bigger than we ever thought. I'm talking shady deals, foreign connections, and decisions that could change how people see him forever. And here's the crazy part. Certain media outlets are starting to drop hints about this, but they're keeping it super vague. Why? Because they know if the story blows up, it could destroy everything before the next election. So, what's in these documents? Who's leaking the information? And most importantly, what is the White House trying to hide? Now, let's talk about something just as shocking as the scandal itself. The media's desperate attempt to cover this up. Look, we all know how the media works. When a story doesn't fit their agenda, they do one of two things: bury it or spin it. And right now, they're trying both. If you go to mainstream news outlets, you might find a tiny mention of the situation, but it's always downplayed. Instead of calling it a full-blown crisis, they'll use words like minor controversy or unverified claims. And let's be real, we've seen this before. When something is a real threat to those in power, they make sure it doesn't reach the masses. But here's where things get interesting. Even with the media blackout, people are waking up. Social media is on fire right now. And despite platforms trying to suppress discussions, the truth is still getting out. Just look at what's trending. Hashtags, leaked documents, insider testimonies. This isn't going away anytime soon. And Biden's approval ratings? Crashing. People who once supported him are second-guessing everything. And the ones who were already skeptical? Oh, they're going all in. The biggest question now is, how much longer can the media ignore this before it explodes in their faces? And more importantly, what is Biden's team doing behind closed doors to stop this from spreading? All right, now here's where things get really interesting. Because when politicians get cornered, they don't just sit back and take the hit. They start making desperate moves to save themselves. And Biden? His team is already in damage control mode. So, what's their strategy? First, expect big distractions. Whenever a major scandal starts gaining traction, politicians love to drop some shiny new headline to pull attention away. Maybe it's a new policy announcement. Maybe it's an international crisis. Or maybe it's some high-profile controversy that magically takes over the news cycle. Sound familiar? Yeah, we've seen this playbook before. Second, watch for silencing tactics. This is where things get scary. If this story keeps growing, don't be surprised if certain videos, posts, or articles mysteriously disappear. Social media platforms start shadow banning discussions about it. Fact-checkers rush in to slap misinformation warnings on anything exposing the truth. And third, Biden's team is already working behind the scenes to control the narrative. They're likely pressuring journalists, calling in favors with media networks, and even mobilizing their allies to flood the internet with counterstories. But here's the thing. The more they try to hide something, the more people want to know the truth. So the real question now is, will this scandal be the final nail in the coffin for Biden's presidency? Or will his team find a way to make it all disappear? All right, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because this isn't just about Biden. This is about how powerful people operate when they're backed into a corner. Think about it. Every time a major leader gets caught up in a scandal, what happens? Suddenly, the rules don't apply to them. Suddenly, the media changes the subject. Suddenly, the truth gets buried under layers of distractions and censorship. And if they can do this to a presidential-level scandal, what do you think happens to everyday people who step out of line? That's why this matters. Because if they can control what information you see, if they can bury the truth, if they can silence voices, then what else are they hiding? Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think this is the beginning of the end for Biden? Or do you think his team will find a way to sweep this under the rug like they always do? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them, and I want to see what you think. And while you're at it, share this video before it mysteriously disappears. Because if we don't talk about this, who will? So, here's the deal. This story is far from over. In fact, it's only getting started. What happens next depends on how many people see through the cover-ups and demand answers. Because if we let this slide, it sets a dangerous precedent, where those in power can keep making the rules, breaking the rules, and then hiding the truth whenever it suits them. But here's the thing. They can only control the narrative if we let them. So if this video disappears, if suddenly you can't find updates on this story, you'll know exactly why. Now, before you go, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Because the more engagement this video gets, the harder it is for platforms to suppress it. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we are not done exposing what's really going on. And most importantly, drop a comment below. Do you think Biden can survive this? Or is this finally the moment where it all comes crashing down? I'm watching the comments, so let's get this conversation going. That's it for now. But trust me, I'll be keeping an eye on this, and I'll be back with updates. Until then, stay sharp, stay aware, and don't let them control the truth.